Welcome everyone to Rapids Reviews Radio episode 6. I am your co-host Kylie Wild and I am sitting here with Pete. How is your day?
I think I'm a bit Pokemoned out, if I'm honest.
I think a lot of our listeners are probably in the same boat.
They probably are, but I must ask, how are you?
I'm doing great. I have got a little further on my convention plans for Belfast.
Excellent.
And kind of sitting on top of the world right now. After a day of drinking.
I was just about to ask that because most business over here is done over a few drinks.
I started drinking at noon and did not stop drinking until sometime after the sun went down.
Yeah, after that time, concept of time is completely lost.
It's just gone. But we came up with so many ideas. It's great. But I could use a good couple of hours of sleep.
Yeah. And to be fair, you've managed to come up and do this whilst you're still hungover, so that's dedication.
Yeah, because I'm fighting the nausea right now as we speak.
Well, we better not be talking about anything that's going to spin your head too much.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait, okay. Oh.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, we've got a show packed full of stuff here, haven't we?
Yeah.
This is going to be weird, but do you want to talk some news?
Yeah, let's start with the news. Got some really good news out there.
Okay, what do you want to start with? Because I think XO19 is a good one to start with.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, to those who don't know, XO19 is Xbox's convention, let's just say.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah.
Yeah, and it was held in London this year, which is a little bit unusual, I'm not going to lie.
It is.
You would think that would be in California, but nah. Well, that's because everything's in California usually, isn't it?
Yeah, I think even Microsoft... Well, no, they're in Seattle, but still, that area. The West Coast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
The old West Coast. Everyone loves a bit of the old West Coast. Especially homeless people. Okay, moving on from cultural stuff here. We're not getting... We've got a new podcast. It's the Political Cast.
Yes.
No, we've come up with a new podcast every
week. Every week. That is our new thing. And we're just going to keep doing it, keep workshopping it until we get the right one.
Too right. But we got some news out of XO19, which is very interesting.
Very happy news.
There are about 50 games that are going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass over the next year.
That's astounding. They're really, really doing well with the Game Pass. They've really focused on it, and I think that's the exact direction they should go.
It's fantastic, really. Considering that we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, considering that Xbox was really not doing particularly well in 2013 and 14.
Right,
exactly. They've managed to turn this around pretty heavily, and a lot of people seem to be on Microsoft's side now because of Game Pass, and I'm one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to include this, that actually at the moment they've got a really good deal on Game Pass Ultimate for £1 for 3 months.
Excellent deal.
It's an amazing deal. So some of the stuff that came out of XO19 was very interesting because there are quite a lot of games that have not been on a Microsoft console before coming to it, such as Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy XII. We had 13.2 and Lightning Returns on there as well, but I think the biggest one happens to be Yakuza.
Yes. Oh, yes. Very excited for that.
Which ones have we got coming for it? Is it Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza 2, I think?
That sounds about right, yes.
Okay, but, well, I might not be correct in that one, but I do know that Kiwami is definitely coming over, and I'm sure that Yakuza 0 is coming.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I caught that Yakuza 0 is coming.
Yeah,
which is
that's really interesting.
yeah.
I'm really glad about that because although I haven't played the Yakuza games, like they have been very synonymous with the
Oh,
Sony platform. So
yeah, no, they're
for
good.
it seems like the company who made them's trepidation to bring them over to the West in the PS2 era has not been a good idea because now they seem to be more popular than ever.
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely love them, and I know a lot of people do. But that is something that does come up: is the different culture between the East and the West. That comes up quite frequently, even with
Yeah.
games like Death Stranding, stuff like that. With
Oh boy.
yeah, yeah, with it
Oh
being
boy.
stated that the reason why the West doesn't like it is because Americans are the only ones in the West, don't like games that you don't shoot the faces off of people.
Thank you, Hideo Kojima, for
Yeah,
stating that.
yeah.
Because that was the weirdest thing that came out of it was that
That,
Hideo Kojima said that.
yes, it's very.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah.
I'm gonna go on record here, and I might
Mm-hmm.
be wrong in it, but he might be tooting his own horn a little bit too much there.
I really think yes. And I kind of find it ironic that he would make that statement when a lot of the actors that he has in there, not all, but a lot of the actors are American.
Yep, they are.
Um, and and even if they're not American, they are from Hollywood, which is the most American city on the planet. Um,
Yep.
so I find that a bit ironic.
Yeah, I do as well. It's a bit
Yeah,
weird. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie. I mean, he's had American actors in there before with
yeah.
David Hayter and Quentin
Mm-hmm.
Flynn coming in to do
Oh yeah,
Metal Gear Solid and all that sort of thing.
yeah,
But I think we sidetracked a little bit
yeah. We
there, but
did.
that was quite an interesting thing. But
Yes.
well, the other thing they have a couple of other things at XO19 as well. They had a big focus on xCloud, which I
Mm-hmm.
think is a really good idea.
Yeah.
I didn't read too much about it because I think it's one of those sorts of things that you need to see it to believe it.
Yeah, yeah, I will agree with you there. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but there was one particular bit of news for you, which I thought was very interesting.
Yes. Um,
Obsidian showed their new game.
they sure did.
Our Worlds only came out a couple of weeks ago, and they've already got a new game. Jesus.
Yeah, quite. I was actually quite surprised, to be fair, because
Yeah.
I do tend to follow Obsidian, and this one kind of okay. My head's been in Outer Worlds for the last 4 weeks, so
Of course.
so this one kind of flew by me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's called Grounded.
It is. So
Uh,
it's a first-person
mhm.
co-op survival game that's coming to Xbox all early access, is it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the service that they call it.
Oh god, no, I'm, I'm too hungover for that one.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But so I found Grounded a very interesting concept in several
Yeah.
ways. The graphics. This is purely my opinion, as an Obsidian lover.
Yep.
The graphics are not so good, but Obsidian's not
Yeah.
known for having the best graphics.
Admittedly, yes.
Yes. They're more story oriented, which is what I found very interesting about this first person survival game.
Yeah.
Because basically what you are is it's like Honey I Shrunk the Kids. You're teeny tiny and you're running
Yeah.
around a backyard with giant objects that, and then you have to collect supplies, build shelter, your typical survival game.
Yeah.
I don't know that
It's.
the Mhm.
I think it's very Minecrafty, but
Yes.
obviously very much in Obsidian's own way of doing things.
Exactly. Um, I'm curious, and of course I'm going to play it because, of course.
Because yeah.
Yeah. But
There was never any doubt about
no.
that, to be honest.
But I am not. As I get older, I am less and less a fan of co-op games. I think because as you get older, you have less and less friends to play with.
That is true. That's
I
very
never
true.
thought of that. That just hit me. But and I don't like playing with strangers. I just never have. I don't mind in multiplayer, like like Halo multiplayer. I'll
Yeah.
shoot up anybody, but
Yeah, that's
but
because that's what everyone does, really.
yeah, exactly. But as far as like a co-op survival game, I don't know. But I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah,
But I'm reserved about it. But I gotta
of
say,
course.
the graphics in it, and also the graphics of Rare's Everwild, which was also shown off
Yep.
during that. They graphics in general for the smaller games, we'll call it, really
Yep.
seem to be kind of following the Breath of the Wild kind of cell shaded type way.
I'm I'm kind of glad you mentioned that actually,
Right?
because I got that impression as well with it.
Really?
But
Okay.
I think the thing is about Rare is it looks like they're kind of using the same engine as the Sea of Thieves engine,
Yes. Yes. That's
which
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they
Well,
they put a lot of work into Sea of Thieves, so
yeah,
why
they
not
did.
reuse it? But I mean, what we saw obviously was very early concept footage of it,
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't. And I don't think this is coming out to Xbox One at all. I think this is going to be a Scarlet game.
Ah, right. I could agree with you there. I hadn't even thought of it, but yeah. No, of course.
Yeah, they
That makes
did
perfect
state it
sense.
was very early footage, so it's not a surprise really. So I think that's gonna they may be looking to get that as a launch game for that, or maybe 6 months afterwards,
Yeah.
dependent.
I really this whole Xbox One cycle, I've never felt that except for Red Dead Redemption 2, there's not
Yeah.
really been a game that has pushed, in my opinion, pushed the graphics capability of the Xbox One.
No,
And I
I
hate to
think it's
see that, as we wind down and go into, Scarlet, are we just going to get slightly upgraded graphics as we hit Scarlet now? It's just,
yeah.
oh.
I'm not gonna lie, it does worry me as well
Mm-hmm.
because I mean, usually by this point in the end of the generation, they are
Yeah.
really pushing the boundaries of what the consoles can actually do.
Yeah.
And you do look at a game like Death Stranding, where most people
Mm-hmm.
will say on the PS4 Pro,
Mm-hmm.
it is pushing the capabilities of the console to its absolute limit.
Yeah. I've
And I
heard the
think,
same.
yeah, and we'll see the same probably with Last of Us Part 2 as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would agree. It just doesn't feel like Microsoft are really able to push this console any further than what they already have.
Yeah, which is actually quite disappointing, because like I know for me personally, I've sunk quite a bit of chunk of money into
Yeah, of
it,
course.
and I never really felt that I got exactly the worth of it back, worth the investment back.
No.
But I think Microsoft must know that, and that's why they have really, literally upped the game with
Yeah.
the Game Pass.
Yeah, which is something that obviously will come over to Scarlet as well.
Mm-hmm,
It's on PC, and I think with having Phil Spencer on board rather
mm-hmm.
than Don Matrick this time around for the
Yeah.
launch, is going to be very prevalent because he's very much focused on the gaming aspect rather than the multimedia side.
Yes. Which,
And I think
yeah.
it was the biggest problem with the
Mm-hmm.
Xbox One was its DRM all-in entertainment box that looks like a giant VCR.
Yes. Oh gosh. Yeah, I remember being disappointed in both of the designs of the both consoles,
Yeah,
Xbox One and the PS4, because they're just
I'm
big
gone.
heavyweights, just big
Yeah,
black boxes.
I'm literally staring at my PS4 right now,
Mm-hmm.
thinking it is such an awkward pain because of its
Mm-hmm.
slanted
Yep.
edges to put anywhere. It's such an
Yes.
annoying thing,
I'm actually looking at
you
mine
know.
as well. And that,
I
yeah,
hate the design of it. I really do.
it just feels very backwards, very like,
Yeah.
but not retro in a cool way. More
No,
just like
it's not at all.
outdated, I guess.
I will admit that the Xbox One X does look a little bit more sleeker, and so does
That's
the Xbox
true.
One S.
Yeah, let me definitely say that. Yeah, no, you're right about that. They did sleek it up, which is what they always do. They
Yeah,
released the
I mean,
big bulky one, and then another year or two down the line, release the streamlined, slim
Yeah,
versions that always look more modern.
yeah. I mean, the PS2 Slim was
Yeah,
always one of the
yeah.
ones that I always thought of because the PS2, I'm not going to lie, is an ugly, ugly console.
It really
It's
is.
just, it's disgusting looking, but they managed to actually make it a little bit more nicer on the eye with the Slim.
Yeah.
Although they did take some key features away from it, like being able to include the multi-tap, which was kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, it's weird what they give up for sleekness, or by
Yeah,
the opposite token, it's weird that they can come out with a large, bulky console and
yeah,
then strip it down to nothing, a year or two later, and then
yeah.
release it for the same price that the original one sold for.
Or in the case of the PS3, you take away every single feature with it,
Yeah.
and then charge like literally so much
Ugh.
less money that it's not even the same console anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad I picked up a 60 gig version of it.
Oh gosh, yeah. That was quite a shock. I think that was the first time I felt like it was a very blatant attempt at, cash grab for less quality, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
Yeah.
It does. But I think we sort of sidetracked again on
We
this one.
did.
But we did mention about the game, so yeah.
Yes.
But we did sort of go into a little bit of a console war
We
again there.
did.
Oh well, it's fine. So the takeaway from this is Xbox good,
Yes.
PS not so good.
Yes. But we're keeping our eyes and minds and hearts open for the next generation.
Yeah, I would be very interested to see what after obviously we've seen so much about the PS5. There was kind of a leak or a rumor going around the other day about what potentially the box could look like.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the look of it,
I don't either.
but it's obviously very early stuff
Yeah.
and we don't know because it's not come from official Sony channels.
Exactly.
We won't be too sure.
Yeah, and if you look back over, the last decade of quote unquote leaks of various hardware, it's just silly. Like,
Oh, they leak everything but get nothing, right?
yeah, exactly. And some of it, it's just like, okay, that might have been concept art for a second, but it was
Yeah.
never going to be real. That weird Cylon ship shaped
Well,
PS controller. It's just no.
oh my god, the boomerang.
Yes, the boomerang.
The PS3 boomerang.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
To be fair
it's
though,
just
like, I remember when the design for the what was potentially the PS5 was doing the rounds, and I remember saying on our Discord channel, I bet this is what the dev kit looks like, and someone went, "Nah, that can't be what the dev kit looks
Yeah.
like." That
I
like
do
usually
remember
they're
that.
just big boxes, and then
Yeah.
a few weeks later came
like,
out and they
"This is
said,
the dev
"This is what the dev kit looks like," and I was just sitting there like
Like,
smugly
yeah.
thinking to myself, "I knew it."
That's right.
I was right, and I got bashed down for it.
Yeah.
I know enough. Look, I've gone through like so many different hardware generations now. I
Right?
know what a dev kit looks like.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Oh gosh.
but anyway,
We're
we
turning
won't go
into
into that.
boomers.
So. We kind of are.
Oh my gosh. Next topic.
Next topic is not going to make you feel any less of a boomer, is it?
Great.
So, Pokemon Sword and Shield have been released this Friday. If you listen to this, it came out on the 15th of November.
Yes.
There was a lot of backlash about the game generally.
Yeah, but as often is. Yep.
It's Pokemon. It's the Pokemon Company and
Right.
Game Freak, and some reason people just, I think, give them quite a hard time over things. Now, I know I'm going to get a comment saying, "Oh, you just defend Game Freak." No, I don't. I don't. I stopped purchasing their games after Gold and Silver because I felt like they were all getting to be the same.
Yeah. Yes.
Only came back after Sword and Shield after Sun and Moon, when it looked like they actually made some pretty substantial changes to the general formula.
Yeah, and Sun and Moon was quite good.
Yeah, they changed the whole dynamic of gym battles, which I actually found really interesting. And they've kind of done a very similar thing this time around where they've kept that principle, which I quite like.
Absolutely.
But it's not gone down with a lot of people.
Yes.
But it has gone down well with a lot of people as well. So basically, the story I know that's weird, but basically the story is that Pokemon Sword and Shield have been review bombed on Metacritic.
Yes.
And some users have been posting zeros, and some people have been posting tens to counteract that.
Oh gosh.
This is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if you don't like a game, don't like it.
Yeah.
You're not entitled to like everything that comes out.
Right.
You are more than welcome to include your criticism of it, but remember, there is a team of people who have put so many hours into this game.
Absolutely.
That actually to go back and read all of this is very disheartening for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
If you have genuine criticisms of it, absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you're going out and you're vehemently just protesting a game because apparently it looks last gen and all of that, or they've upped the assets, or they've only just slightly up-res the 3DS assets and stuff like that, which I will admit they kind of have done.
Right.
But the turnaround on these kinds of games is not easy. It really isn't. And they split their team doing this between this and Little Town Hero. What did you expect?
Right, exactly, which is another very hotly debated game as well.
Yeah. And the thing what's said is that Little Town Hero looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this looks like it's running on the same engine. It looks nice in certain aspects. Certain aspects don't look great, I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But yeah, it does look like they've reused some assets for it. It does look like some of the animations are a little bit funny, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but some of the moves haven't been animated at all, which is very disappointing. So one of the I actually chose Score Bunny, so come at me, internet, I don't care. So one of the moves that I know. I'm such a sucker for it as well. But to be fair, like, I was very impressed with Score Bunny's evolution. I'm not going to go into it because that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
But one of the moves that Score Bunny has is Double Kick, which when it evolves into its next version, doesn't actually do the animation. It just hops on the spot.
Right.
And it looks very strange.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people said, why didn't they just delay the game? They can't. It's not down to Game Freak to delay the game. What people don't seem to understand is that the Pokemon Company are made up by 3 different companies, which is Game Freak, Nintendo, and I can't remember the third one, but there is a third one in there. Yeah. They all have to collectively make the decision to delay a game, and bearing in mind that Pokemon is always out in October, November, no matter what it is. Last year we had Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee in November.
Yeah.
It's their time. That's when they release. So I don't think they could have delayed the game.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. They've built up an expectation within the community. And, you know, you can only, I mean, at least they're following through on that bit, you know. And it's a risk versus reward. Let's say that they did choose to delay the game. I think a lot of the community would be more vocally upset about that than, you know, what they're currently upset about.
Yeah, agreed. But to be fair, you would usually only delay a game if it's broken. And this is not broken. It runs. It actually runs very well. Like, the only time that I've had a small bit of slowdown is when you're opening up your Rotom Dex. And that's it.
Right.
When you catch a new Pokemon and it registers to the Pokedex, that's the only time it does slightly slow down.
Yeah. And that's understandable.
It's not even that big of a deal, to be honest. It's not the worst thing in the world, but a lot of the fans, I think, were still very upset about the National Pokedex situation that happened at E3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite evident. There is a kind of vitriolic response about that.
Absolutely. I did have a point about this, though. I'm going to raise this. It might be wrong. It might be right. I don't know. But if you go somewhere in the world, and I'm going to use the real world as an analogy, would you expect to see the same animals roaming around everywhere?
Oh. See,
Now, this is a whole new region with whole new Pokemon.
that,
And
yeah.
some obvious forms are completely different, like they did with the Alolan region.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Galarian forms,
Right, yes.
which are obvious different versions of common animals or Pokemon that you'd see anywhere in the world.
And the
It's like the
Galarian
same
Meowth.
too.
The Galarian
It's like,
Meowth makes me laugh. Sorry.
oh, that is. I didn't actually see that before the game came out, and I loved that. As soon as I saw it, I mean, oh my god, what the heck is this? It looks like an old man with a beard.
Yes.
It's
He's not
wicked.
fat, he just has a beard.
I loved it. I thought that was a great design, to be fair.
I love Meowth.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my point, really. Are you
Mhm.
going to expect to see 1,000 different Pokemon in this one region? If that was the case, they'd set every game in the one region, wouldn't they?
Right.
No, they go around the world. They
Mhm.
have stuff that's unique to each region.
Absolutely.
So I can understand where the controversy comes in, that people who've carried Pokemon across from all different generations want to be able to use them. But we're in the age of updates.
Yes.
This will probably be updated later down in the line. We've got Pokemon Home coming next year.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think that when they introduce that, they're not going to say, oh, by the way, we've added another 200.
Right.
There you go. Are you happy now?
Yeah.
People won't still be happy,
No.
I guess.
No. Yeah, I mean, there's a very famous quote. I'm not going to say who it's from because I can't remember.
Okay.
I can't remember if it's Abraham Lincoln or Barnum from Barnum and Bailey Circus, P.T.
Yep.
Barnum. But it's, you can't please all the people all the time. Basically, you can only please some of the people some of the time. And I think we tend to have forgotten that.
Yeah.
Thinking that, it's a demand culture almost now. On-demand culture, please me now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to forget that not everyone, and I think that is a very good point, to be fair. And I'm just going to go on record here and say that P.T. Barnum was a complete scumbag anyway.
Yes, I'm going to agree with you there.
So anybody who wants to watch The Greatest Showman, that is filled with lies.
Yeah, it is, guys. It is. It's all right. It's shiny and it's nice, but it's wrong.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, he and Thomas Edison, terrible people. Terrible.
They are very terrible people.
Yeah.
But
that's for our other podcast. Inventors and circus leaders of the 19th century.
Oh, that's going to be a fun one. We could only ever talk about P.T. Barnum.
Yeah.
It would just be the P.T. Barnum hate cast.
Yes, there you go.
All right, we'll move on, because I'm not going to keep hating on this situation. I just think it's one of those things. Come on, people. These people have spent hours upon hours creating this game for your enjoyment. Exactly. And yes, they are welcome to have criticism.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't be vicious about it. If you have a genuine criticism, fine. If someone wants to criticize my reviews, fine.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to argue with it.
Yeah.
The thing is a lot of people, and one of the things that really annoyed me about this situation is that IGN's review got particularly pointed out for this because the person is a staunch Pokemon fan. Okay, fine, whatever. That doesn't bother me.
No.
But she came out and said that people were being entitled and stuff like that, and people got really uppity about it. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to go into that one because IGN are a very interesting outlet in their own right.
They are.
So I'm going to leave that here before we get a lawsuit.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we'll move on very fast.
Yes, got to go fast.
Because that is where we're going with this. You've got to go fast and go check out the Sonic trailer.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So earlier on in the year, Universal Pictures that brought this out?
I believe it is, yeah.
Okay. Well, they released the design of Sonic for the movie, and it did not go down well. It got memed very, very hard.
Yes.
Like a scary monster.
It's quite enjoyable, the memes.
The memes were good.
The memes, all the memes.
But this week, they have released an updated trailer after they delayed the movie.
Yeah.
And Sonic has been updated. And he at
Yes.
least looks like Sonic.
He does. That's very true.
So we got this new trailer that had a lot of nods, a lot of different stuff here. So there was quite a lot of fan service in this trailer, would you admit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Particularly Green Hill at the beginning.
Yes. And I also think the fact that they brought the was it the Sonic X art director on as an advisor?
They did.
I think that is so evident in the trailer. Like, and that's
absolutely,
I can applaud them for that. That was a smart move on their part. They should have done it beforehand, but
they definitely should have done.
Yeah. But for me, I don't like his ears, first of all. And which is the dumbest thing, but I can't help it.
I'm not gonna disagree with you. Actually, I didn't really think about the ears at all.
The ears bother me. They're just not. There's something wrong about them, but that's because it kind of speaks to the fact that traditionally, Sonic in a 3D platform has never been great. I know.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I know there's going to be some diehard fans that are going to be like, I love everything Sonic has ever been involved in. No. Yeah. There's some real stinkers out there.
You are going to get a lot of people to turn around and say, how dare you say that about Adventure 2? No, Adventure 2 are broken.
They're terrible. They're terrible, guys. They're terrible.
They are bad, but they have got some amazing music. Sonic has always excelled in amazing music.
That is what is so crazy to me is that, exactly that. I don't think there's been a Sonic game. Well, okay, there's been a couple, I can't even remember, but there's been a couple of stinkers with the soundtrack, but overall, they are
Sonic
usually...
Sonic Forces.
You know what? I think that's the one I'm thinking of. When it has the weird, jazzy... like horn, but it's not real horns.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. But overall, they're normally known for having good music.
Yeah,
but that's kind of Whereas, but Sonic in 3D, as a character, has never really done as well.
No, absolutely not. Everyone always remembers 2D Sonic, and
that's
obviously that's why we had
games.
Yeah, that's why we had Generations as sort of like a okay, so you want classic Sonic, but you want modern Sonic too. Yes. I didn't want modern Sonic. No, I quite enjoyed that aspect of it in Generations.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that. I think they knew what they were doing. And but with this trailer, we kind of spoke a bit about it off air, and I still very much agree with it. Like when it was the bad design, my interest was piqued, shall we say.
Me too.
Because I like terrible movies. Like, I'm a big fan of B movies. My favorite is movies that are terrible that don't know they're terrible.
Like The Room.
Yes, exactly. Like, they think they're being so serious and everything, and it's just terribleness. Well, Sonic was going that direction. So I kind of was like, ooh. Yeah. Now... Again, my opinion, but now it's very kind of generic. Like, I mean, yes, I appreciate the nods, and I saw a meme online where it was like, the new Sonic movie, proving that bullying works, and I was like,
oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it, and
okay.
Yeah. But overall for me it's too generic, and I don't like his ears.
Okay. I'm not weighing into this one at all, apart from the fact that I probably would agree with you to certain
and his eyes are really wet. I'm just saying. I think they're going...
That's an odd criticism.
I know. I think they're going for that anime, sad puppy look, which is, you know, it's
Yeah.
a very old trope in anime movies. I think that's
Yep.
what they're going for, but his eyes are just so wet all the time in this trailer.
They are. They're a bit strange. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Anyway,
I,
yeah. So for me, it's a generic feel.
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of good references in there. I did
Yes.
particularly like the Hilltop Zone ping pong table, which was
Yes.
quite cool.
Yeah.
Seems a bit weird that he's come from Green Hill in his world to a human Green Hill. Bit strange, I'm not gonna lie. So it's
Yeah.
interdimensional travel here we're going to be talking about, which is very odd.
Yes.
I think Jim Carrey is going to absolutely knock this out of the park as Robotnik.
I want him to so bad. Probably like most of us, and I'm gonna just jump the gun and say you as well. Jim Carrey in our childhood was the funniest thing alive.
Too right.
I mean,
And
oh my gosh. You know, the Ace Ventura,
Yep.
you know, Ace Ventura 2 even.
I love Ace Ventura 2, despite it's not
did.
being as good as the first.
Yeah, I mean, that, The Mask, I mean, all that stuff is panned now.
I hate The Mask. I
Do you
always
really?
hated it.
Oh
I
my
always
gosh.
hated it.
You know what's funny is, now that you've said that, your Discord name, we'll say, I won't give it out, but
Yeah.
it always makes me think of Cuban Pete. So every time I see it, Cuban Pete plays in my head. So
Nice.
I
think
find that funny.
There was a couple of good moments in The Mask where he's given his Oscar speech. That is quite funny, to be fair.
I just love that over-the-top campiness. And then I think we've mentioned it before on the show. I know we talked about it between ourselves, which is all of these comedians that we loved. For some reason, they're so bent on becoming dramatic actors. And you know, that's great for them and whatever zen they're trying to achieve. But what about us?
Yeah, exactly. I'll go out on a limb here that Jim Carrey doing dramatic performances only worked in a couple of movies.
It
Because
did, yeah.
films like I Love You, Philip Morris were not very good.
I just
Come
didn't,
at me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm there with you. I didn't feel that. I didn't feel 23. You know.
Oh, the number 23. That was weird.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
And one movie that I like that is constantly panned, but I like the movie. I just don't like his role in it. Is the Spotless Mind.
Oh my god, I've only watched that once, and Jesus, I did not enjoy it.
It's difficult. It's disjointed. And it's weirdly funny and comical in places because weirdly all the actors are comedians. All the background actors.
I mean,
like all of them, and so that's kind of weird. But as a concept, I really enjoyed it because I can relate to it. But Jim Carrey in that movie, I did not like. I don't.
That's totally fair.
Yeah,
totally fair.
And also in
please,
Truman Show.
That's one of the very few where his dramatic role is fantastic.
His dramatic role, I think that's what, I mean, I can't speak for him, obviously. I think by doing Truman Show and everyone being like, oh, wow, you know, he's got some acting chops.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that must have spurned him to go, oh, I'll make more dramatic films or whatever. But I want rubber face, over the top. Jim Carrey that we grew up with. And so, long story short, I'm hoping that Robotnik is his chance to do that again.
I really hope he's going to channel his inner Cable Guy.
Yes. Oh gosh. Now see,
I can't believe that was the film that nearly ruined his 6. That's crazy.
It's weird because he's okay. Welcome to our film talk podcast. I know, it's our Jim Carrey fan cast. I liked Cable Guy.
I love it.
It's
always did.
Yeah, it's very repeatable. I love films that I can just quote from. That's just my personality. By the same token, Me, Myself, and Irene was terrible.
My day.
I hated that film, and it grossed me out.
It's got some really funny moments in it, to be fair. I think the fact that his kids, like the adopted kids, is
Yeah.
one of the funniest things about that movie.
Yeah, and the smaller actors
Yeah,
moments are quite funny, but
yeah,
there's
they
some
are.
really disturbing, but not in the fun way that I like to disturb people. That I just
Yeah,
couldn't get on board with, and then I just feel like it kind of went downhill until he did Lemony
yeah,
Snicket, which is almost him trying to recapture that, but he never
yeah.
quite got the old over the topness. If that
No,
makes
they
that's
didn't.
not a word, but um,
I know what you mean, though.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
where you're going with that.
So I'm hoping Robotnik is going to be his return to just over the top, massively expressive, just hilarious. I mean, okay,
Yep.
my favorite movie of all time.
Mm.
Well, it's been superseded this year by the movie we've talked about previously.
Okay.
But up until then, my absolute favorite movie of all time is Dumb and Dumber.
Oh dear.
People
Oh
don't
dear.
understand that, and I know that I get it.
I do love that film, though.
I love it so much. It has the exact balance of over the top bathroom
Cringe.
humor that is, yes, the cringe. That's the word I'm looking for. The cringe that I love so much, and it's almost all ad libbed, which is like,
Yeah.
and their chemistry together is so good.
It's amazing to think that Jeff Daniels was an actual dramatic actor before
Yes.
that point. It's so weird.
I remember I watched that movie in the theater with my mother, who luckily had the same kind of crude sense of humor that
goodness.
I have. She's the one that introduced me to it, I would think. But
Yeah.
but she was shocked to find out afterwards that was Jeff Daniels, because she had known him from the 70s, I think, the Purple Rose of Cairo,
Yep.
where he was this handsome, very, the leading man, and she was like, no way, that can't be the same guy. So it's just
It is, because
yeah.
in that same year he also did Speed,
Yeah.
which I mean is kind of a dramatic role in his sense, because
Yeah.
he gets absolutely destroyed in that film.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Robotnik, please be over the top and rubber faced.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I have only one wish for this. If he's not gonna start singing "Don't You Want Somebody to Love," then I'm walking out the cinema. Because I want him to do that like he did in Cable Guy. That was that whole scene is absolutely hilarious.
He ruined that song for me, but in the best way.
Yeah, because now I can't hear it any other way.
Yeah. And oh gosh, yeah. And even if I because I love karaoke, so even if I do that, I do it with his crazy, twist on it.
Old extended lip quibble and all that sort of.
Yes. Yes. God it, Jim Carrey. Be funny again. We need you.
We do.
We
definitely
need you in
do.
these dark times.
But yeah, long and short of that discussion, at least Robotnik looks great.
Yeah. And to be honest, I will give it a chance based on Robotnik, which is weird. It's a weird thing to say if if you know anything about Sonic and his legacy and everything. It's weird to you'd never pick a Sonic game based on Robotnik.
No, you don't.
No, but if Robotnik's good, I will go to this movie in theaters rather than wait.
I'll be watching it anyway.
Well, that's very good. Good, you can do a review.
I will do a review.
Because I'll be very excited to know.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to go on with it, really.
Yeah.
So,
well,
we'll move on.
Moving on to our next topic, a very brief topic.
Yep.
I said topic. I meant segment. I am hungover.
Yeah, we'll let you off this time.
Yeah. But it is our You Got This segment, which is a very quick little, no more than 2-minute segment we do every week. With a little positive affirmation and tiny life lesson. And this week's is the art of saying no, which is something
tough.
I think a lot of us struggle with it. Up until I began to open my own businesses, I worked for corporations.
Yep.
And in that, I'm a very ambitious young lady. And I would take on anything they handed me, to
Yep.
move forward, move ahead. And eventually, I became the one who would not ever say no. But what that
That's the sort of thing that can be exploited very easily as well.
Exactly. So you kind of become a robot almost.
Mm.
And then your sense of self no longer really exists because all you're doing is other things that people have asked you to do.
Yeah.
Now that is not necessarily always in work. That can also be in your personal life. If you're very social,
Yep.
or even if you're not very social but have a hard time saying no.
Yeah.
But I think that in life, as you get older, as I've done, you have
Okay,
to,
boomer.
you have to learn to say no. Once you say that little word, that little 2-letter word,
Yep.
you feel such a sense of power.
Yeah.
Because suddenly you're in control. No, I won't be available for that, or no, I won't be able to do that for you. You don't have to be rude.
Yeah.
It can be
No,
very polite.
like,
No. Yeah.
yeah, people seem to misconstrue that idea that a no is ultimately like the worst thing in the world. It's not.
Yes.
I mean, we've done things where we've probably should have said no. I mean,
Absolutely.
taking on reviews when you've already been bogged down with 2 or 3,
Yes.
and you just go, yeah, I'll do that, and then you realize, oh Christ, what have I done?
Yeah.
Saying no is important for your own mental state, for really, because
Mm-hmm.
if you take too many projects on, or if you keep doing things, when are you ever really going to get any time for yourself and to rest?
Absolutely.
They are important.
Yes. So as you go out through this week, if you've never been one to say no because you don't want to rock the boat, you don't want to upset anyone, just try it on something small. If someone's like, do you want a cup of coffee? But you don't at that moment, I say, oh no,
It's
thank
quite
you.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
Start
quite
easy. Yeah, exactly.
Something in a
And
social aspect where they go like for you yesterday,
Mhm.
you might have, oh, let's go down to the pub for 12 hours. No.
Yes, I should have put a no in there, especially when the waiter
Yeah.
for his 4th or 5th time said, oh, do you want another drink? I should have said no.
Yeah, well, that's your own fault.
That is.
That's because
Well, see, exactly. I didn't take my power, as they said.
it's fine. I mean, like you
Uh,
said, it's just the small things,
yeah,
something
start small.
where, oh, do you want a cup of coffee? Like you said, oh, no, thank you. I don't
Yeah.
fancy one at this time. Or,
Exactly.
oh, do you, oh, I've got tickets to go here and someone's dropped out. Do you want to go? And you don't like that particular thing that they wanted to do. Just say no.
Yeah, like
You don't have to please everybody. Did you just mention Little Mix there?
I did. I was waiting to see when it registered.
What? Where the heck did that come from?
They're really big over here.
Oh, that would make sense. Yeah. I would gladly say no to Little Mix every day.
I have had to say no twice, because they're not my thing. And yes, of course, you worry that it might come across rude, but I would not have enjoyed it. So,
Yeah, like you struggling through something that you're not going to enjoy is ultimately worse, because that's not going to do anything for your well-being at all.
Absolutely. Try small, and remember, you've got this. You can do it.
Yeah, you have. That's one of the things that I think you should definitely do. You should learn to say no from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to disappoint people at all.
Oh,
People. I've had to say no to lots of concerts over the time, and particularly things I'm not that overly interested in about. I'm going to mention one that I should have said no to, was Evanescence.
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine them live. I know we're going off topic, but I can't help it. So,
Yeah.
what was it like live?
Terrible.
Was it screechy?
To be fair, yeah, there was lots of females in the
Yeah.
audience all screeching, and
Yeah.
I only like one of their songs, which is My Immortal, and
Yeah,
that's not even a good
yeah.
song to be.
That has a special place in my heart. But outside of that, well, okay, I like the duet that the chick did with her ex-boyfriend, the Broken.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I liked his
it
band.
was
But
okay.
yeah, I mean, it was of its time. It was very, yeah. I was kind of emo.
Of course you were.
I really was. I'm
I
still
never,
emo. I'm not gonna lie.
I never got into emo, to be honest.
Oh,
I was more raucous metal.
oh gosh, of course.
I've sort of become like a bit more of a hippie in time in sense respect because I listen to things, prog rock
Oh,
and
well,
things.
hey, I do love some prog rock now. Yeah.
Prog rock's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like going on a trip without actually taking the drugs.
Well, see, you're not wrong, and I think I've mentioned this before, but because I'm on the spectrum, I have this very interesting aspect called synesthesia,
Yeah.
which means I see colors. And prog rock prog rock makes some of the best colors. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about a story, but I can't reinforce on here because it's very rude and very of a particular, not safe for work.
Yes.
So I'm not going to mention it. But that was particularly interesting,
Yeah.
having a day where I'd listened to Pink Floyd for the first time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, I miss those days. Anyway.
Me too. We'll move on.
Yes, but remember, you got this. Just start out small. Because I too, I'm a big time people pleaser. I love making people happy. Bringing a smile to someone's face is better than just about anything I can imagine.
Exactly.
But sometimes you gotta bring a smile to your own face.
You've got to bring it to your own life.
Yeah, and sometimes that starts with saying no. So
there you go.
Yeah, you got this, and we're going to move on to our next topic.
Which is about saying no, actually.
I fully intended that you were going to go, no. But no, go ahead. So, yes, our next topic.
So we are actually going to talk about, as our topic this time around, pre-order culture in gaming.
Yes.
Now, I've always wanted to talk about this in quite a critical light. So when you brought this to me, I was hopping at this and going, yes, finally, I get to talk about this in an official capacity. Now, I'm going to say here, I'm of the camp that pre-ordering is absolutely pointless. Unless it's a very niche game.
Oh, very interesting take. I hadn't thought of that.
Look, there are games out there, things like, I'm looking at my shelf at the moment, things like Steins Gate. Some of the Persona games over the years have been particularly niche.
That's very true.
I wouldn't pre-order a game if I knew it was going to be a multi-seller. So things like Pokemon.
Right.
I wouldn't pre-order a game like that because it is an utter waste of time, because they're only doing pre-order bonuses to try and increase their numbers for later on down the line. And you did actually send me a really interesting article that stated about pre-order culture and how sales are critical for pre-order pipelines.
Yes.
So did you want to go into that a little bit?
Well, that's kind of my stance is always, it's almost always going to be twofold in probably anything, because as a fan, as a game player, as one of the masses, I'm very against pre-sales, except for kind of what you said. I never had actually thought of that, but you're right. The smaller titles, games, I know that they depend on those pre-sales, or pre-order. And so I I can get an affinity there. If I have an affinity for it, I can put money on it. As a business person, I am so into pre-sales.
Really?
Yeah.
I suppose from the business aspect, that does actually.
Now this is purely coming from a business aspect, because even what I do is my business is I print very niche types of things. just not your run-of-the-mill type thing. And generally what I'll do is I'll get in samples of whatever crazy idea I have, do a video.
Which is a lot.
Yeah, yes. I'll do a video, usually, not always, but if the video hits, it hits really well. And then I get the pre-orders in, which allows me to buy stock in and then to bring stock in and then create and mail out. So from a business model, it's really nice.
Yeah, especially for small businesses. Exactly. I think it's definitely something that would make a lot more sense, because at least then you aren't overspending on the supplies that you need to get.
Right.
And then being left with this back stock of stuff that you won't shift.
Because in a small business, every penny counts, just every penny. And the worst thing in the world, especially as I'm mostly print on demand, I wouldn't say I'm 100% print on demand, but mostly print on demand, I can't have extra stock sitting around. That's just wasted money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so for me, as a business person, pre-sales are great. As a fan and a game player, I think they're predatory and terrible.
I'm glad you said that, especially big companies who particularly lock off certain things for a pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that whatsoever. I mean, companies like Activision have been known for many years to do things like that. Like, say, with a Call of Duty game, they'll go, oh, we'll lock this off for a pre-order bonus. Oh, you get an extra gun, or you get this many credits on your in-game loot system. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate, there's two aspects of it that I hate, but particularly coming up as, I didn't always have money. And I've always loved video games. And video games go through periods where they're extremely expensive. And I'd say right now we're kind of in one of those. But before, I'm trying to think even... there'd be different games that I'd be into, and I said before, in America we have GameStop, and
GameStop are one of the worst.
They're the worst for it, and so they were like, "Oh, if you pre-order this game, I want to say it was Borderlands." Always feel free out there, listeners, to correct me if I'm wrong. I am happy to be corrected. I'd rather be corrected.
We don't get all the information correct all of the time.
Right? Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have encyclopedias in our heads yet.
Yes.
But that makes me want to go off on the AI tips that.
Okay. See, I've got to rein you in on this.
Yes, exactly. That is what you do. Keep me focused. But GameStop, the worst for pre-order sales, and I do want to say it was Borderlands, where if you bought the game, you would get a special set of armor and a gun. Yeah. That you couldn't get anywhere else. And
great! They probably released that as DLC like about 3 months or 6 months down the line. Anyway,
see, but that's actually the problem, is that they didn't always release it as DLC. Sometimes it was so exclusive, you had that window of opportunity to get it. I'm somewhat of a completist, just in general, just in life. And I like collections. I like obsessively completing collections. Which is why I'm glad my comic book collection is now digital, because I was running out of room. But
no surprise.
But that meant that my opportunity to get, exclusive guns or ammo or armor just evaporated. And I hated that, because these were games that I really, really, I think Fallout 3 had an exclusive GameStop DLC.
I'm pretty certain it did.
I think it did, actually, and probably Oblivion as well, since they were that same time period. And I remember just being very, very disappointed. I couldn't complete this, game that I was passionate about, because I missed the window of a pre-order. Because I tend to, at that time, I had to wait for games to come down in price. I could not afford first day releases.
No.
No, there was no way. So I do feel, as a game fan, pre-order culture is predatory. Very much.
I would agree with you. I remember there was a controversy about this with Street Fighter Five, and surprise,
yes.
surprise, I've brought Street Fighter Five up again.
No
Tick
surprises
that one off
there.
your bingo.
I was gonna say, I think, yep, we're 3 episodes in a row.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the things that annoyed me the most about Street Fighter Five, apart from its incredible monetization, stupid, was the fact that 4 of the most recognized characters had costumes that were locked off to different retailers. So I think the 4 retailers were Best Buy, GameStop, Amazon, and there was one other. But I wanted to go and buy the game and get one of the costumes for it, which was the hot guy Ryu.
Yes.
Or Ryu, if you want to be correct.
Right. It means
sorry. Yes, it does. That's why he's got a move called Dragon Punch.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've ruined my credibility there by calling him Ryu.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Ryu.
Ryu.
That go. Yes.
I've actually heard people call it Ru, which is weird.
Yeah. Again, correct us, listeners, but I'm pretty sure the Japanese is Ryu. So
it is Ryu. Yeah, it is Ryu, because it's in Street Fighter 2, the movie, the animated movie, does say Ryu.
Also, the karate I took was called Ishin Ryu, so which means Dragon Fist.
Quick pop quiz here. Do you happen to know what the martial art that Ryu and Ken actually do?
I have read that before, and no, I cannot remember. But yes, I have read it.
It's called Shotokan.
Shotokan, of course. It's a very
it's based off karate and Ansatsuken.
Yes, that is correct. And
I know my law.
You do. I'm very proud of you. We need to talk about lore in another episode as well.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, they had costumes for, one of them was Cammy, I think. She had a battle costume, which actually was really nice, to be fair. It was one of her best costumes.
Really, I like her. I like her original.
Her original is awesome. To be fair,
I have the cosplay for her. So.
Oh wow! Okay. Yeah. I wonder how that leotard even stays on.
Do you really want to know?
No, I don't actually, because I imagine there's a lot of annoying awkwardness with that.
There are snaps and buttons. Yes.
Okay, fine. One of the other ones, who was it? I think one of them's Nikali, which was one of the new characters.
I was gonna say I don't recognize, so it had to be
Yeah, he was. Apart from Bison, he was one of the villains.
Oh right, okay.
The story mode was very strange for that, so I don't even know what he even is. To be fair, he's like an ancient being from like a tribe or something, and very
Street
weird.
Fighter.
He can dissolve himself into mud, which is really strange. Exactly.
That's
and the other costume was Chun-Li.
Oh,
another staple character.
Yeah,
and that was also one of her best costumes as well.
Aw, I love Chun-Li.
Yeah, so they
especially on the PlayStation, if you put her on Turbo.
Oh god!
Then you just beat everyone.
She was literally like on speed.
I loved it so much. I beat everyone. Anyone that played me.
And
they called me a cheater. I can't imagine why.
That's literally because you just stick the turbo up to the very top and just mash the kick button constantly. It's like lightning legs for days.
That's it.
There you go. See, I know. I've been there.
I can't imagine why people stop playing with me.
Well, the only way that I would counteract that is by picking E Honda and doing 100 hand slaps.
That is exactly the one that would... but you'd have to catch it just right on the right timing, and then, E Honda just...
Yeah, because to be fair... Well, to be fair, Chun-Li did have a slight bit more range than E Honda, so that would beat it out most of the time. So you'd have to wait for Chun-Li to actually throw the legs out.
You'd have to, yeah.
So... Yeah, I've played enough Super Turbo for a lifetime, and more.
Best version for me personally, but yes, continue.
Agreed. So, I mean, they had those costumes
Yeah.
egregiously taken out of the game and put into
Ugh.
different retailers. So anybody who wanted those would like just go, all right, I'm not going to go and buy the game 4 times to go and
Yeah.
get these costumes.
Mm.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No.
So they did. I don't even think they released them as DLC either.
Right. There was a time when that just happened. You missed your opportunity.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. I managed to get it. I don't know how I
I
managed
was
to
gonna
get it.
say,
Got
because
it.
I mean, those are all American companies too.
Yeah,
So
we had it for Amazon, I think, were
right,
one of
okay.
them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Game had one of them here, but we didn't get a lot of them, so we
Right.
never even got. Which is strange because Cammie's English, and we never even got her
That's
costume on in our retailers.
that is a very good point. Yeah.
Damn you, Capcom.
For real though.
Yeah, I would say that actually Capcom were one of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
One of the worst for it because
Yeah.
one of the. This is sort of going off a little bit of a tangent to do with DLC and stuff like that, but pre-order culture, obviously, in terms of games, does sort of entail
DLC
things
for
to be
sure.
added up to the DLC for
Yeah.
later development. And
Absolutely.
one of the worst instances that Capcom ever got away with it, or never did get away with it, actually, was Street Fighter Cross Tekken,
Mm-hmm.
where all 12 DLC characters were on the disc.
Oh, yes. Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's
That.
yeah.
Oh,
That was
what were they thinking?
That's the thing. That was the first time I found out that DLC was usually shipped on the disc, and what you were actually buying was an unlock code. And I just remember being just raging out over that. Because I think even the horse armor, the infamous horse armor for Oblivion, was on the disc.
Of course it was.
Yeah, or
This
at least it was on the PC version. But
yeah, this is around about the time where Bethesda were really getting to be quite dirty with their pre-order bonuses and stuff like that. I do remember a lot of horrible stuff that they've done over the years.
We definitely need to talk about DLC because Fallout 3 and not Fallout 3, Fallout 4 has the wonderful creator studio thing. And
the creator studio was one of the worst things I ever heard about.
It's terrible. Oh my gosh, it's just awful.
I think that's now been topped by the Atom Shop in 76.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh look, we did Bethesda again. Make sure to mark your bingo cards.
Yep. I wanted to note that down earlier, but I thought I'd leave it and just see if you sort of picked up on it.
Yes. Well, it took this long because I'm hungover.
Exactly. But
yes. So ultimately, and I do have just one more thing to add to the pre-order culture is that don't forget, listeners, that companies, the big companies, they use a lot of those numbers, those pre-order numbers, to bump up their own sales numbers.
Yes,
and
they do.
They won't, because why would you? They won't subtract. Like if they had to give a refund. So,
they won't.
Yeah, if they sold 2 million units but had to refund 1 million, they're still going to say, we pre-ordered or pre-sold 2 million units, So
yeah, and there is one interesting part of the debate as well, is that sold copies and sold on copies are two entirely separate things.
Yes.
So they only count the selling to retailers.
That's right.
As their sales numbers. They never count actual physical sales, because what retailers will have to do is they'll have to put down a certain X amount of stock that they want of that particular game.
That's right.
So companies like Activision, Blizzard, even though they're the same entity now, they still kind of operate separately in that respect. But Bethesda, they all look at sold units to retailers as their sales numbers. There aren't many occasions where they do go, this is the actual sold on amount that we have shifted.
Right. I also want to add, just as a behind the scenes, because of my many things I've done. I'm also a published writer. But Yeah, but that also is true for bookshops as well. So when
Yeah.
you're seeing, New York bestseller, kind of the same if you see a bestseller video game, it's not
Yeah.
because you bought that book. It's because they managed to convince the
Yeah.
booksellers to purchase a large amount on their behalf. So
Exactly.
don't always trust charts. Um, you know,
No.
they're not really
That's
reflective
that's where the charts are getting a lot better nowadays. Is they
because it's digital.
are encompassing. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are encompassing digital sales, which are actual physical
Mm-hmm.
sales now.
Absolutely.
Um, but a lot of the sales, the MPD stuff from over here does not include sold
Mm-hmm.
on units, which is really strange.
Yeah.
Um, but you should always take that into account. If a company like Activision turns around and says, "Oh, we've sold X amount of the new Call of Duty game,"
Mm-hmm.
they never.
Yes.
Funnily enough, they never actually state their physical numbers. They only state how much it's made.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing, and I'm gonna say something controversial here. Mark your bingo cards.
Go ahead.
But Call of Duty and FIFA as well. Um, Again, bear in mind they're always the top sellers.
Yeah, always.
Always.
They managed to get in those non-gamer people to
Right.
purchase their games every year.
But always remember that those purchases were made by the game shops themselves.
Yes, they were.
And which is because, honestly, I can have 10 gamer friends. Maybe 3 played FIFA and maybe 2 played Call of Duty. I actually don't run into a lot of people who, well, they may play Call of Duty on its first day release
Yeah.
and then they're just done.
Yeah,
So.
I know a lot of people who play Call of Duty just for the story and that's it. So a lot of people got very annoyed that Black Ops 4 didn't
Well,
have a story mode to
that's
it.
where I jumped off of the Call of Duty train because I actually like, yes, I love multiplayer shoot 'em ups because I just do. But
Yeah,
I really like story mode, campaigns and story mode in
yeah.
any military game. Oh, God. That's why I've said it before, but Bad Company and Bad Company
Oh,
2,
they are
I
great.
love them.
Yeah.
Main stories are great. But anyway, so yes,
We have definitely rambled about
we
that
did.
topic more than enough, but I thought it was really interesting because
Yeah.
me as a consumer and you as a business
Mm-hmm.
person, you have two kind of different perspectives on that one.
Absolutely. And that reminds me, listeners, you are always encouraged to, let us know how you feel.
Yeah,
Whether it's on
always.
Twitter or our website, which we will give all that information at the end. But I am
Of
so
course.
interested to see other people's points of view. I just love information.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I know
yeah.
there are people out there who absolutely love to pre-order
Mm-hmm.
stuff just to
I
make sure that they don't miss out. And
I
it's
would
one of
love to
those
hear from
things
them.
that is it's one of those things they say is the fear of missing out or FOMO
Yes,
is now a
FOMO.
very, very big thing that people talk about. And
Yeah.
companies are now starting to exploit that a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I think they very much are. Um, yeah, not to mention it again, but like for the last, 20, 30 years, a lot of advertising has been for the baby boomers, or boomers
Yeah.
as we call them now, because they had the money.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
controlled everything. But now, as they're going into retirement age and Gen Xers and millennials are coming up,
Yeah, we're now the ones with
we're
the
the
money.
targeted. Yeah, exactly. So they're targeting us. And what is the thing that is big on us? And that is fear of missing out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're really pushing that aspect of it.
Yeah.
They know that people are going to be sitting there on the internet, forums, Twitter,
Exactly.
social media of any sort of respect, and even just talking about a game, a movie, or anything like that. People go,
Yeah.
"Oh, damn, I don't want to miss out on that." I mean,
Exactly.
I managed to just about skip it with Death Stranding. I got close to buying it because I didn't want to miss out on it, but
Yeah.
I didn't do the same with Pokemon because I was genuinely excited about
Yeah,
it.
that was definitely your strong suit. But that actually reminded me of another little behind the scenes thing.
Yeah.
My entire adult life, I've worked in marketing and advertising.
Well, that's always useful.
Yeah, it actually is. You learn a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
one company I worked for, I can't mention them, but I will just say that they sell groceries. Um, they,
Uh, I'm not going to mention them, but do they begin with a W and end in art?
I wished I could have got their campaign. Oh,
Yeah.
but this is the same. I would say they're very parallel. But in our advertising meetings, like I said, our primary target audience was baby boomers, which is what they've always been called. That's not an insult. That's what's weird to me.
No, anyone that was born before 1964 is technically known as a baby boomer.
Right, and it's
it came from that particular generation.
Yeah, 1945 to 1964, and they were called baby boomers because it was right after the big war, World War II. Everybody got laid, and all the ladies got pregnant. So there's a huge uptick in the population, and
that's because all the ladies wanted to have babies with war heroes.
Exactly, they come home in their uniforms. I'm just saying, but so what they then became known as they aged was also the U generation. So baby boomers are also known as the U generation. George Carlin has a great bit on it. If you ever want to get your parents back for talking about lazy millennials, go look up George Carlin and baby boomers. It's fabulous. But so in marketing, we were then told to advertise to baby boomers, everything had to be you focused. This is for you. Try out this new product for you. Like every one of our taglines had the word you in it. And then so now that generation is fading into the sunset. Our, Gen X and, millennials are coming up. And it's definitely changed to FOMO. And they push it really hard behind the scenes. So, having said that, definitely be aware. Even going back to pre-order, you're not going to miss out, guys. You're not. It's a marketing ploy.
Exactly.
Yeah, just hold your horses, and prices will come down. And honestly, I haven't seen a lot of DLC that is exclusive anymore, like exclusively exclusive. It'll usually pop up a few months later. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, you say about games will usually go down in price. They do. I mean, look at Fallout 76 to mention them again.
Yes.
That game went down in price a week after it came out.
Yeah. Oh God.
The only instance it doesn't actually happen is Nintendo. Nintendo's games never ever depreciate in value.
I was just talking to someone yesterday about Pokemon. Well, not Sword and Shield. The Sun and Moon.
Still expensive.
They couldn't afford it, 3 years ago when it came out because they were kids.
Yeah.
Now they're a little older, but they're like, it's still the same price. It hasn't come down. And now Sword and Shield is out, and it's just like, how am I going to balance all this?
I know. I had the same situation when I was looking to pick up a lot of the old back catalogue of the Pokemon games that I'd missed out on.
Yeah.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is still like £25 to £30, pre-owned, and that is just crazy to me.
It's ridiculous. So here's hoping that Nintendo with their next iteration maybe follows Xbox with the Game Pass.
I hope so. I also hope that we get xCloud on the Switch because that would be great.
Oh yeah. So maybe in the future, fingers crossed, because that is something I hate. I don't think that gaming should ever be there should never be gatekeeping in gaming. But
never.
I think it should be available. Yes, you have to make money as a business. You have to make money. But let some time go by and let the people that can't quite get it on first day have a chance. Outer Worlds is actually dropped now to 20. It was.
Oh, 40. I definitely might pick that up now.
Yeah, check CD keys. Yeah, and that's like my go-to thing. Always check CD keys first. But
to be fair, last Christmas I actually I used CD keys for the first time because I didn't get a great discount on it, but I did get some discounts on Super Mario Party and Celeste from there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They would have done a good deal on
Yeah.
Celeste. Yeah. I mean, you're not always going to get a great savings, but sometimes you get some really good savings. So always keep
Yeah.
your eyes on that. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, like I said, I think we've rambled about
Yeah.
that topic more than enough.
I think we hit about 5 topics in one, but
It was good though.
Oh, always though,
good.
listeners, always, if
So-
there's a topic you want to hear us discuss, always, send it over to us. We'll do it.
Yeah.
It can be
We'll
obscure
gladly-
or anything. We love talking.
Yeah. We'll take some topics from you guys if you want to hear us
Absolutely.
talking about anything. We'll give you all the contact info at the end of the show.
Yes.
So we have got some questions. Well, one specifically.
Yes, which is probably good this week.
Yeah, but for your
Yeah.
sense of your brain and resting
My-
and all that sort.
Still alcohol, pickled brain.
Yes. Well, this is your brain. This is your brain on alcohol.
It's a pickle.
Yeah, I do remember that advert. That classic.
Gosh.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs.
Yeah. If you want,
That was so funny.
If you want some nostalgia and you're Gen X millennial, go look up, excuse me, 90s drug ads, drug PSAs. Oh my
God, they're so funny.
I have forgot that. I remember watching them as being younger, watching them going, these are stupid. Now watching them, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are hilarious.
Yeah. One of the ones that I always found really funny, I think this is your user submitted one. I can't really watch it because it's got spiders in it.
Oh.
But they administer different drugs to spiders.
Okay.
I'll try and find it and send it to you after.
I like that kind of stuff. I will sometimes. Oh, we're really off topic, but that's okay. I will sometimes watch those the old housewife tries LSD YouTube videos from the 60s.
They're really funny.
Fascinated by that.
They're utterly hilarious.
But yes, we will go on to listener questions.
Okay, so I didn't put it down in the doc, but I know who asked this question. This one comes courtesy of Mike again. So at 2D Mike 3D on Twitter.
Yeah, he's had some really good ones.
Yeah, this one's another cracker as well. Where does he come up with these? As well as putting up some great articles.
Yeah, God, I thought I was a workaholic.
And he's got kids as well. Jeez.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my
man.
Gosh. Another shout out. So
he's the busiest dad ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this question is: which genre of game do you consider to be your gaming comfort food? In quotations, you know, the type of game that, when all else is crappy, helps you reach that Zen-like mindset. Mine is classic turn-based JRPGs. Sometimes you just need to grind to a high level and slap some suckers. I would agree that there's nothing quite fulfilling like a JRPG where you get to level up for a bit, grind away, and then you go and defeat a boss that has been causing you nothing but grief.
I would say that is rewarding. I do actually enjoy a good. Oh gosh, I do enjoy a good grind. Game related.
I'm glad you said that. I will not abuse my power as an editor for my own ill-gotten gains. But...
Oh yeah, I can just picture that on a loop somewhere on the internet. No, but
I'm gonna put that up on our Twitter.
Oh gosh,
this sound clip of just saying I like grinding.
I like a good grind sesh.
That's just weird.
It really is. But my actual personal preferred comfort food, I mean, that's not gonna be a surprise. It is when I'm just having a bad day. There's two go-tos. Not so much now because I'm not set up for it, but used to Halo multiplayer. I would hit just hours of and one of my favorite things to do, because this is how immature the video game land was 10 years ago. My Spartan would be in pink, Pink is
Of
actually
course.
my signature color in real life, but then that's where it started. And then I would kick everyone's tails. And then I
Of
would get
course.
tons of DMs, or Xbox messages of girls
Oh,
can't
yeah.
play, you suck, blah, blah. Because I
Really?
would.
Because you just got beat down by a pink Spartan?
Exactly. And then there was always we just let you win and all that kind of stuff. So I got to where I kept my pink Spartan, but I'd turn off my headset.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
and then just blow everyone away. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
That's another one. Stupid sound bites.
Look, you can trust me to not abuse my power. I can guarantee that. I'm
Yes.
not going to do that. It's
Fingers
not going
crossed.
up on Pornhub.
But so Halo multiplayer was definitely nowadays. It would. I always go back to Fallout New Vegas. I'm sorry, I know that's not creative, but the characters are they're my friends.
Look, you may hate Friends, but you love Matthew Perry.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. One of my special interests growing up, and special interest is for someone on the spectrum, is something they're obsessed with to the point where they know ins and outs. One of my special interests was voiceover actors. And like I knew Billy West was doing the Cheerio B way before anyone knew who Billy West was, who's the voice of everyone on
literally
Futurama.
everyone. Well, yeah, he voiced a lot of people in Futurama, but specifically most remembered Fry.
Yeah, Fry would be his main one, but I mean he did so many, and then I could sit here, I could tell you everything he's ever done. Phil DiMaggio, who did just DiMaggio, because I'm hungover. John DiMaggio.
Yeah, the one who's Bender.
Yeah, that's hangover brain. I knew he did the
Joker.
He did that, but I knew he did Waka on Final Fantasy X 10.
Oh yes, he did.
And I was like, I knew who that was. So for me, voiceover acting is a special interest. It's it was at the time. It was very important to me. I knew the voice actors, and I all that boring stuff. When Matthew Perry opened his stupid mouth, and the way he got that role is insane. He manipulated, Bethesda into letting him have it.
He did.
Yeah. And okay, I can kind of applaud that, but you
can't applaud that.
He was terrible. Guys, if you haven't played New Vegas, and why not? What's wrong with you? But YouTube, Matthew Perry's character, it's not Buddy, but it starts with a B. Oh my gosh. This is hungover Kiley, by the way. All the facts just die. They just go in my brain and die. I'm normally very encyclopedic, but Benny. I knew it was in there.
That's the one. Oh. Yeah, next time you have that struggle, just remember Benny Hill. Because he's about as comedic as that.
Now the music's in my head. Thanks.
No worries.
But, go YouTube that. It's the worst voice acting I've probably ever heard. From a professional actor, but in a game. It's so wooden and it's so terrible. So you can probably imagine what his fate is with me pretty early on.
You probably absolutely destroyed him.
Oh, gosh, yeah. First chance I got.
Yeah, of course.
And so, but overall, of course, New Vegas is my comfort food game, because I know the land, I know the landscape, I just know everything. It's just comfortable. It's like wrapping up in a warm duvet. And I've played it so many times. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you know what's even worse? There's
a worst part?
There is a worst part. New Vegas has, at least 3, but there are more ways to play the game.
Okay.
I always stick to the same dialogue tree, the same faction, and the same ending.
It's because it's what you know. It's what you know. You can't help that.
I feel so happy when Ron Perlman at the end is giving me the update of everyone, and it's the way I want it. It's like, yes, everything's in place. So
that's what you always want to hear what Ron Perlman has to say.
Yeah, he could deliver terrible news, and
Well, apart from his politics,
I haven't looked into those.
Don't bother, or make you angry.
Good. But what about you? What's your comfort food specifically?
Now I've got 2 really. If I've had a particularly bad day and I just want to take some aggression out, I will mostly stick on a GTA game and just go and shoot fools up.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing quite so satisfying as reliving fantasies that you have in the outside world in a video game. So, going to take a prostitute and then beating her half to death to get your money back is always one that makes me fun.
My favorite thing is to go to the top of any building and just do a shooting spree until I get like all the stars filled. You
just get gunned down by the army
and then put in the cheat and you're fine.
No, one of the things that I did actually really genuinely enjoy about being able to drive up the side of a mountain and then just fling yourself square off of it. I used to love that. Or you just go up in a plane and you just dive out of it without a parachute and just let yourself die.
Yeah. Another fun one is in 5. Go all the way up the hill, grab a bike, and then just let your character go because he's not going to make it.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so absolutely there with you.
But in terms of gaming like Zen, as the question puts it, I have a couple of examples really where I think that I get into that sort of mind frame. Is one of them is obviously Super Mario World. Mark that bingo card.
Yeah.
But it's like the same thing with Fallout New Vegas for you, because I've played that game so many times.
Yeah.
I know all the tricks. I know everything.
The 2 different paths and all that stuff.
Yeah. The fact that, when you get into the first level of the second world in Donut Plains, you can get the feather.
Yes.
And then you can just pretty much skip entire levels by using the fly trick. It's like I said, you just get into that sort of like mind frame where you're just like, I am so at peace with myself because I know this so well.
Yes.
The other one I would say is Mark the Card. It's Street Fighter.
I knew that was coming. I was actually surprised when you didn't say it first. So.
It is quite nice to just pick up my arcade stick, just be able to pull off a few nice little combos and stuff like that. It's just, and I spent a lot of time over the years in the arcades playing Street Fighter. Like, I do regularly go to an arcade up near me that's got some of the older games there, so I just like going and playing the arcade modes or jumping online on Street Fighter 5 and just seeing what happens.
Yeah,
and it doesn't always work because my arcade stick has gone into my wall a few times.
Oh no! Oh, are you one of those the angry video gamer?
Not usually, but when I'm having a particularly bad day or I'm offset with somebody lagging on the other end, then that's where things can become a little bit delicate.
I can't judge you there, because if I'm playing multiplayer, especially in Halo, and there's
lag.
When they start glitching and they're obviously having lag and I'm shooting through them and it's not connecting.
There you go.
So I'm there with you.
Especially the same with things like Street Fighter, where they have a particular netcode that's called rollback, where if it's based on who's got the stronger connection. So if you've got the stronger connection, you might not actually hit done, because it's basically refreshing on either side on a peer-to-peer server.
Right.
So it's not done through like a solid connection or a server like that.
Mhm.
So you might hit something on your screen and then it sort of jumps back and nothing's happened, and it's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
So I've had so many instances where I've got down to like a pixel of health on their character, and I've thrown out like a low medium or something like that, like a medium punch, and it's hit on my side, and then it will just roll back to the point where it hasn't happened, and I'm like, what the heck has happened here?
Yeah, like I feel you there. That's that frustration
So,
level is not good.
yeah, so it's not quite zen-like, I would say, but
well, rage can be zen, I guess.
yeah, it depends on the kind of emotions you want to go for your
That's
zen-like
true.
mind frame. Because Akuma has achieved zen-like behavior, but that's through killing.
Yes.
And gamer quiz here. What does Akuma actually mean?
Ooh, good question. I don't know. Oh my gosh, I don't know something. Okay, enlighten me.
Okay, so the Japanese name for Akuma is
Mm-hmm.
Goki, which roughly translates to demon.
Yes. Oh wow, I did not realize that.
Yeah,
That makes so much sense now.
yes, it does.
That's ridiculous. I'm like, oh yes.
I should finish this up with a gamer fact of every time.
Yeah, do that. I'm totally into that.
I'm going to try and find some more Street Fighter facts because I've got a lot of them.
Yeah, just end every episode with Street Fighter facts.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap us up, isn't it?
It will do, because that was the last question. But thank you, Mike, again for your amazing question.
Yeah, I love it because his questions make us think. As do Thomas's, actually. I love that. So yeah, listeners.
Thomas usually has a good few questions. So
yeah, send us the thinkers. We like those.
Yeah, we do like a few good thinking questions. But if you want to get a hold of us,
yes,
where do they find us?
Well, if you're traveling the cyberspace,
which is weird because you should be if you're listening to this.
Right, exactly. But if you're out there on the web, you can find us on www.rapidreviewsuk.com. Then we also have a Twitter. Rapid Reviews Twitter, which is at Rapid Reviews UK. But we also now have our bright, shiny, not as new, but it's still quite new.
Still new enough.
Yeah. Podcast Twitter, which is at RR Radio Pod. And then where might they find you?
I'm going to pull you up about this every week. You forget about Rapid Reviews UK Facebook page. Every week.
I do. Oh my gosh. Bingo cards.
Kylie, you've got the document in front of you. It says it right there.
I am literally looking at it. My eyes, my peepers are on Rapid Reviews UK Facebook. I still didn't say it.
I know. It's crazy. But to answer your question, and to stop giving you a grilling, they can find me at Twitter at Pete Beckett1.
Yes.
Now, where do they find you?
You can also find me on Twitter, which is at Kiley Tagreet, which is KILEYTEHGREET, which is actually a Futurama reference. So.
Yes, it is. Good old Billy West.
Yes, exactly. And we have enjoyed your company. We hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us. We're always grateful to anyone that does. Please feel free to share us and, get us out there.
Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts or SoundCloud. We take comments through SoundCloud as well.
Absolutely.
Just share it around because.
Don't be scared. We are here to interact with you.
We are indeed. We're always willing to have a conversation with people on Twitter, on Facebook, any place that you want to get in contact with us, we'll gladly accept.
Absolutely. So,
unless it's on Pornhub.
Yeah. If you see me there, just look away.
Yeah, of course. But that's going to do us for this week.
Yes. So. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.